Hi everyone, it's Melissa. I'm back with another video, and in today's video I really want to talk about how you can identify what your current state of being is, what your current mindset is as it relates to all of your desires, and figure out where it's not lining up with where it should be so that what you want manifests. So if you've been struggling to just kind of figure out, I don't even know what I'm thinking to be able to get what I want, I don't even know what I'm feeling to be able to get what I want, these affirmations, I don't even know if these are the right affirmations for me, I think this video will really help you. And before I get into it, just a reminder, I am available for one-on-one coaching, and I have some awesome courses and affirmation bundles on manifesting health, wealth, love, communication, you name it. So money. So check out the link in the description of this video. If you'd like to work with me, I'd love to work with you. Okay, so let's talk about, first of all, what is your state of being? You hear this all the time in this community, especially if you have heard of or read any Neville Goddard. He talks a lot about your state of being, your state of consciousness, your state of awareness, your I amness. So your state of being is, the way I like to think about it and the way that I like to understand it is, it's who am I? How am I defining my reality? How am I defining myself? That's your state of being. So who do I think I am? Who do I think everybody else is? What do I think about this circumstance? It's the labels and the definitions that I'm assigning to myself that equal my state of being. So let me give an example. Okay, and another way to think about this, what's my perspective? How am I perceiving something or myself? That's my state of being. So let's use the example of money, okay? So let's say your desire is to have tons of money. Let's give a more specific one. Let's say your desire is to have thousands in your savings account, okay? So what's my state of being in relation to this money manifestation, in relation to the desire of having thousands in my bank account? Well, if I feel like money is a struggle, if I feel stressed about money, if I worry about money constantly, if I'm constantly getting bills and thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay this? If I'm constantly saying, oh, I can't afford that, or thinking, oh, I can't afford that, if I'm thinking, I'm only going to make this much money today, those are all thoughts and perceptions. That's all coming from the state of being that I don't have enough, money's hard to get. So maybe saving thousands in your bank account is not going to seem very possible from that state of being. From that state of being, you are not abundant. You are not someone who has already thousands in your bank account. You are not someone who easily receives thousands to put in your bank account. From that state of being, you are someone who struggles to reach that goal, who maybe from that state of being, maybe that goal isn't even possible for you, or you just can't figure out how it could be possible. So your state of being is everything when it comes to manifesting. And I've said this so many times in other videos, but your perspective is your power. How you are perceiving something is your power, because it's the labels you're giving things, it's the meaning you're giving circumstances and situations and things that people say and things that people do and things that people don't say and do. That is what creates or maintains your state of being. So that's why when you start to shift your perspective, your state of being shifts, your circumstances change, because you're seeing them through a different lens. That Wayne Dyer quote always pops up in my mind, is when you change the way you think about things, the things you think about change. When you change the way you think about things, your state of being changes, because you're not seeing things from the perspective of that other state of being. You know, you've assumed a new identity. So your state of being is how you identify, who you identify as, in relation to absolutely everything. How people treat you, how much money you make or can make, how worthy you are of the things that you want, how relationships are for you, how your health is, how easy or hard things are. Those are all identities you embody. Those are all states of being. So some ways to help identify what's my state of being. I know what my desire is, but I have no clue what my state of being is in relation to it. All I know is I haven't seen my desire manifest. So I must be in a state of being that doesn't align with that, right? So what's your state of being? So one way to identify it is check in with your emotions. Your emotions are a really good indicator of your mindset and your state of being. If you're really upset about something, you've likely been assigning negative meaning to something. You've likely been thinking about something from the perspective of what I don't want is true, what I don't want is not, what I want is not possible, something I don't like is happening, something I don't like is true, this is hard for me, I can't have, your feelings are indicative of your thoughts, which create your state of being, because whatever I think something equals, it is for me. If you assume something is true for you in your experience, then that is true for you. That's what you will experience it that way until you decide another truth, until you pick another truth. So check in with your emotions. If you're feeling upset about something, the first thing I would do is allow that to be okay. Allow yourself to feel upset. It's okay to feel upset. You thought yourself into that place. You reacted to circumstances from that place. Allow the emotions to flow through you. Process those emotions in a healthy way. We're human. We have emotions. We're not meant to bottle them up. It's okay to feel them. It's okay to not be okay all the time. But then investigate it. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? What was I just thinking about? Or how was I just thinking about something? Okay, that's going to tell you what's your mindset about that thing you're thinking about. What's your state of being about that thing you're thinking about? What are you labeling people or things or yourself? Let's go back to the money example. If you're stressed out and crying because you don't have enough money to pay a bill, okay, that's the what. So why did we get to the what? Well, because I was thinking, I saw this bill and I don't have enough money in my bank account. And then I was thinking, I don't know how I could possibly get any more money. In fact, I was thinking, I know these are the only ways that money are going to come to me. So money can't come any other way. So then that made me think, oh, there's no way I'm going to be able to pay this bill. And then they're going to come after me. And then they're going to maybe take this away, or they're going to turn something off, or I'm not going to be able to keep something, or I'm not going to be able to have something. See, it always starts from a thought. So when you are any kind of emotion about something, that's a great indicator of your state of being. Even happy emotions. If you're really excited about something, what was I just thinking about that made me so excited? Because that means I'm telling myself something is true, that is amazing, that I love. That means I'm perceiving something through the lens of, this is awesome, this is possible, this is happening, I like this, I'm happy about this. So that's the first way to check in what's your state of being in your mindset. What are your emotions right now? What are your emotions right now related to your desires specifically? And if you just don't even know what your desires are, check in with your emotions to even get to your desires. Because usually you can figure out what you want by noticing what you don't want. So if you're sad and you're just feeling unfulfilled, okay, so what would be the opposite of that? Being happy and fulfilled. So there's your desire. So then you look at reality through the perspective of that state of being, someone who's happy and fulfilled. So what kind of things would I be telling myself if I was happy and fulfilled? I would be saying, I love my life. I'm really happy. Every day gets better and better. And you just start embodying that identity. You start to embrace that state of being. Whether or not you believe it's true in the beginning doesn't matter. It's just the shift in perspective. That's all it takes. It's the shift in the thoughts. It's the shift in the mindset. And then that shifts the circumstances. It shifts the way you view the circumstances and the possibilities. You become limitless when you accept that you are limitless. When you start looking at life through that perspective, when you start embodying the state of being that I'm limitless. Okay. So emotions are a really good indicator of your mindset. Also, check out repeating patterns in your life. Is there something that you just a problem that you just keep noticing, keeps creeping in and creeping in? Maybe you have the same issue in every relationship, doesn't matter which partner. Maybe you always get really high paying jobs, but then you just seem to never have any money. Maybe you are really good at making friends, but then they just are bad communicators and they never ask to make plans. You're always the one that has to make plans. Check in with repeated patterns. And there you can tell what's your state of being when it comes to those things. With the friends, if you're seeing repetitively that people you feel like you make more of an effort than they do, or you always have to reach out first. That's a state of being. That's a mindset you have in relation to friendships and people. So there's how we identify it, and how do we change it? Okay, well, I don't want to see things through that perspective anymore. I want to see things through the perspective of people seek me out. People reach out to me all the time to want to spend time with me. People are always asking me to do things. All my friends are great communicators. You have to start intending the new story. You have to start affirming the new story in order for the new story to push out, in order for you to embody that new state of being. You have to start giving those things or circumstances or people or whatever different labels, right? Like that's how you break the pattern. You stop telling yourself the same things are true that you don't like, and then they're not true anymore in your experience. So just to recap, to figure out what your mindset is, check in with your emotions. Check in with if there's some repetitive patterns going on in your life that you just are sick of or don't want anymore. Those are good indicators of, okay, this is a thought pattern I have. This is a way I'm thinking about something that doesn't align with what I want, which is why what I want is not showing up. And if you're really not sure about anything, get a piece of paper down and write out, what's your ideal life look like? What's your ideal life look like in every area? What are some things that you would love to experience? And then from there, when you write those down and you look at those, do you feel any hesitation in your body? Do you feel any emotions come up when you think about one of those things? Like, oh, this isn't possible, or oh, that's too hard, or oh, I've never seen anybody that could do that, so maybe I can't do that, or oh, that's totally easily possible for me. Your first thoughts on those topics, on those things that you wrote down, that tells you what your mindset is. It tells you what your state of being is. That tells you your initial assumption and the initial snap judgments or labels that you're putting on things. And then you can just, okay, do I like that label? Well, if I don't like that label and I don't want to experience that label, that definition of whatever that is in my reality, then I got to change the label I'm giving it. I got to change how I'm defining it. I got to change how I'm perceiving it. So I just wanted to give this little reminder, because sometimes, there's so much content out there. There's so many new thought teachers and all these books and lectures you can listen to and things you can read. And it can get kind of confusing with all the info, but it's always just, what am I telling myself is true about myself or this person or this circumstance or my desires or my goals? And that's how you know the identity you're embodying, and the identity you are embodying related to everything. Another way to think about state of being, I say this a lot too, is how can I complete the sentence? I am, he is, she is, it is, we are, they are. However you can finish that sentence, that's how you're defining something or yourself or someone else. That's how you're defining it. That's how you're labeling it. That's the state of being you're embodying as it relates to it. So if you don't like the way you complete that sentence, first of all, that's how you've identified your state of being and your mindset. How do you change it? You write a different ending to that sentence. And that can happen in a few different ways. There's so many different techniques to change your story, to change your mindset. Affirmations, scripting, writing it down, writing out a new story, visualizing. I mean, there's no wrong way to do it, but it's a constant game we play with, your mindset is constantly changing, and it's your job to direct it how you prefer, if you want more experiences that you prefer in your reality. So who are you aware of being? What is your state of being? What is your mindset? An easy way to think about that is, what am I saying is true about myself or this thing or this person or this circumstance? Whatever that is, if I don't like what I'm saying is true about it, what I'm telling myself is true about it, that's what I have to change. That's how you shift your state of being. That's how you shift your mindset. And that's how you use your emotions to your advantage. And that's how you can pull yourself out of a victim mentality and triggering moments. Let it be okay to not be okay. Let it be okay to feel those emotions. That's feedback for you. It's telling you what you're believing is true, that you need to shift if you want a different experience. So I intend this video helped you. I just wanted to give a little reminder. It doesn't have to be hard to figure out where your thoughts are in relation to your desires and how to change them. And don't make it hard for yourself. Start telling yourself it's easy for me to identify my state of being. It's easy for me to identify what I'm thinking about, my desires. It's easy for me to change my thoughts. It's easy for me to assume something better. Okay? All right. I intend this video helped you, and you have an amazing week ahead. And I'll see you in the next one.